This is the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast with Sal and Sam, a new podcast for engaged couples concerned about wedding planning and family expectations but want a stress-free, fun, and unforgettable wedding.
Hi, I'm Sal Fusco of After Hours Events of New England. In my 40 years, I've performed at over 3,500 weddings. Working consistently keeps me in tune with the wedding industry.
Hi, I'm Sam from Atmosphere Productions Disc Jockey Service. I've been DJing since the mid-70s in radio, nightclubs, and thousands of weddings, helping and interacting with hundreds of engaged couples.
Welcome to the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
Good DJs aren't cheap, and cheap DJs aren't good. On your wedding day, you should know that music is such a powerful yet delicate tool. Accordingly, music binds all the previous ingredients of the day together to create that lifetime event that lives in the memories of those present for years to come.
By the time this edition is over, we'll explain what questions to ask your DJ entertainer and how to steer clear of cheap, bad, and inexperienced DJs. Finally, you'll know why you should never hire a cheap DJ.
With over 80 years of combined wedding experience and insider information, this is Stress-Free Wedding Planning with your hosts, Sal and Sam. A new podcast for engaged couples who are stressed about wedding planning and family expectations, but want to have a fun wedding. Listen now for revealing wedding insider secrets, tips, and strategy or lesson that you'll be able to implement for a stress-free wedding. Information that you just can't miss and may just change your life. Take the journey with us from worry and concern to a stress-free and unforgettable wedding day. The Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast with Sal and Sam.
Learn more about our journey to help you with stress-free wedding planning in the trailer or pilot of this podcast. In today's edition, music, be it live or from a DJ, should not be an afterthought. Don't be content to take what is left or resort to that Spotify playlist with a pair of speakers, or even worse, think you can just rent equipment. You didn't settle for seconds when it came to choosing your dress, your makeup, your shoes, your cake, or the many things that make up your special day.
Today's edition is brought to you in part by Clear Vision Productions and the Wedding Styles of Connecticut wedding shows. But first, if you have a question or concern, go now to Facebook and join us on the Stress-Free Wedding Planning community and ask away.
You're listening to the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
In today's edition, we'll explain why you should never hire a cheap DJ and give you everything you need to know about cheap DJs. Good DJs aren't cheap, and cheap DJs aren't good.
You know, there's 13 very important questions you should be asking any DJ when you're interviewing them. One of them is, how much experience do you have as a wedding DJ? How many weddings have you done? What is your DJ style? What is your dress code? Can we meet in person or virtually? Can you contact past clients for a review? Do you have a contract? Something very important. Do you have liability insurance? Do you have backup equipment in case something should go wrong? Do you offer lighting services? What equipment do you use? And can we request specific songs before the wedding? Do you work with any other vendors at the wedding?
Those 13 questions, Sal, are absolutely crucial. And the first 5 there are the ones that I think are really the most important. Before you hire a DJ, you have to ask them about their experience. Now, I've been doing this for over 40 years. And Sal,
I'm hitting 40 years.
Yeah, you're hitting 40 years. So that really tells you that, the length of time that we've been doing this, we've fallen into every circumstance that could possibly happen, and we know how to handle it. Experience is a very important thing doing your wedding because of the different circumstances that happen.
It is just so valuable, Sam. There's just situations that happen that you have to be quick on your feet and really weave and get your way through it real quick and make it just look like everything was natural. How many times have we been part of something that something went wrong, but the couple never even knew it happened?
I can't tell you how many times. How you make a mistake and nobody else understands it as a mistake. You do because of obviously your experience. And that's because we've done thousands of weddings. That's important. The more you do this, the more experience you get and the more situations that you get into that you know how to handle. the DJ style is very important. Are you the sort of DJ that dresses up in a chicken suit and do Michael Jackson impressions? I mean, if you want that at your wedding, then great, that's the style that you want. But most couples don't want a DJ that is the center of attention.
Yeah, most want it to be their day. There are people who ask, "Hey, can you take the light off me a little because we're really shy?" And totally understand that. But yeah, you don't want to be that monkey suit guy, that's for sure, because people are not going to appreciate that whatsoever. And I think style goes beyond just that, Sam. I think is how you play the music too. I always like to say, is your DJ beat mixing? If not, if beat mixing is not available, can they blend, or they know how to do a sharp end to a sharp beginning to keep the dancing flowing? Because there's a lot of newbies who will play it from the very beginning of the song to when it fades out. And when you fade out, the dance floor fades out.
Yeah, the style of the DJ also means how he mixes the music. You're absolutely right. There's a style. How does he read the crowd? That's part of the style too. And if you have a very inexperienced or cheap DJ, they are probably not going to really care how to read the crowd. They're just going to go off and do what they want to do. Can you meet the DJ either in person or virtual? That's kind of obvious. You need to make a connection with this DJ. I say to my clients, if you don't like me when you meet me, don't hire me. And the token is the same in reverse. If I don't like my clients, I'm not going to work for them. It is crucial that you get to know the people who are going to be working with you and for you.
Nothing like finding out that day you can't stand the person you hired.
Horrible.
It just doesn't work out very well. So yeah, meeting in person or virtually is huge. I have had couples who say, "Hey, can we talk on the phone?" I say, "You know what? If you can't come in person, let's just do it over Zoom or something, so we can kind of see each other and we can see each other's mannerisms and see if this is something that really works for the two of us."
Yeah. However it works, virtually or in person. Another important question that you should be asking your potential DJs are, can you contact past clients? The reviews. You need to be able to verify those reviews. Ask for past clients that you can, pick up the phone and call. Verify, verify, verify.
Yeah, you just never know when things are real or not anymore. So yeah, you really kind of do your due diligence and kind of follow up and see if you could talk to someone and get a good feel if that's someone who's just a friend who's trying to cover for them or if that sounds like a real client.
Yeah. Do they have a contract? Do they have liability insurance? Those two things go hand in hand. Most professionals who do this for a living have a strict contract that they go by because they do so many events. They know what can go wrong and what the potential hazards are. A cheap DJ may just say, "Oh no, I'll write it on a napkin and send it to you, and that's my contract." I don't know if you remember, Sal, back in the 90s, that there was a DJ who used to do that.
Yes, put it in the memo of the check. That's your contract. Contracts aren't there just for the DJ, but they're for you to protect both parties. There's no misunderstandings whatsoever.
And of course, having backup equipment in case something goes wrong is really obvious, but it really is not a question that a lot of couples ask their DJ. How many computers do you bring along to an event? Do you have a main computer and a backup? Do you have a backup to the backup? Or is your backup back at the office? A very important question.
Yeah, and this is something that I'm finding more and more often when I talk to my clients. They're hearing from other DJs, yeah, it's back at the office or it's back at home. That's not backup equipment. If it's not on the premises and it can't fix something quickly, it's not backing up anything.
Really? And what type of equipment do you use? Not that you should necessarily know any of this equipment because you're not a professional DJ, but DJs should be using professional grade equipment, or if not, at least have backups to them. I know, you've got to start somewhere, so not everybody can jump in and get, the latest tower speakers or the latest computers, but at least have backups. So if something goes wrong, you have something that you can depend on.
So let's get to the next thing. Let's talk about offering lighting. A lot of couples are looking for lighting, and it can be different things from up lighting to dance lighting. I've seen DJs who think that little police strobe light is lighting. You need to make sure you're getting professional, solid lighting at your wedding because you're paying good money for that.
And if they're professional, they should be using wireless lighting.
Yes.
Your lighting should not be connected to plugs. not only is that dangerous, if there are kids around, it can be hazardous. So little things like that, although they may seem very minor, but all these little red flags add up. And then finally, you have, can you make requests before the wedding? And do you work with other vendors? Making requests are very important. Do you want to be able to have some input on the music that is being played on your wedding day? That's why you want to be able to make requests in advance. And do you work with the vendors? I call my photographer and video and the facility the week of the wedding just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Do you think a cheap DJ is going to take the time out of his schedule to do that, to make sure that they're on the same page as the other vendors? No, I don't think so.
I can't tell you how important it is for a professional DJ to work with the other vendors, especially prior to the event. I remember having an event where I got a hold of the live musicians for the ceremony, and they were not aware there was a time change. But because of me notifying them and letting them know, they were able to make that change, luckily, and it all worked out. But yeah, sometimes couples forget to tell people things, and most DJs, since we're so detail oriented and we're taking it line by line, we realize these things and we share this with the others. And that's how you find out if there's a mistake, and you can try to fix it prior to the wedding day.
Yeah, all these questions should be asked. Those 13 questions you need to ask a potential DJ before hiring them, we just went through that list with you, is very important because we are all looking to get the best value for money. And when it comes to entertainment, sometimes people just want to go for the cheapest, the lowest cost. I mean, I'm sure if there was a Walmart for DJs, people would be booking it because it's a common misconception that you get quality DJ for an affordable price. You don't. What do you get? You get inexperience. No professional DJ who has been doing this for a while is going to go out for a tenth or a half or a third of what they know that they can make. It really is financial suicide. There are a lot of factors involved in doing the DJ work for that particular day. Experience is one, equipment is the other, your sales and marketing, your insurance. There are a lot of things that need to be paid for that all goes to factor into the price tag of what a DJ is going to charge. And that's why we're really doing this particular episode, isn't it, Sal? It's because we want couples to understand there is a difference between somebody like you and I who do this every single weekend and know the facilities, know what to expect and know what to do, as opposed to somebody who has never been to a facility before and who has probably only done just a few weddings.
Oh, definitely. And experience is everything. I know there's certain facilities that couples need to know certain information to be able to make sure everything runs smoothly at that facility, because some facilities do things certain ways that could kind of throw timing off. And I'm able to explain to them, by talking to your facility and doing this and doing that, it's going to make things smoother. You get a non-experienced DJ, you get nothing, and you get what you get.
So true, Sal. So true. The old adage, you get what you pay for, is so true when it comes to hiring a DJ. The quality of a DJ can make or break the mood, the atmosphere, or even the entire day. I have heard of weddings where guests have left right after dinner because the music was so bad. That's why you never hire a cheap DJ for a wedding, as they could ruin the entire event. So when we come back, how you can save yourself a big headache and hire a professional.
You're listening to the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
Wedding Tip Wednesday is brought to you by Emerge Cosmetics. Are you ready to emerge? Our line of lipsticks, lip glosses, and mascaras was created to empower and become who you truly are. Strong, beautiful, and confident. Use the coupon code SF1 at emergecosmetics.com for an instant 10% off. That's coupon code SF1 at emergecosmetics.com. Emerge is the true you.
On this Wedding Tip Wednesday, if at all possible, to make final payments on your wedding vendors before the big day, 30, 14, or even 7 days is acceptable. This ensures that you have minimal payments due on or after the wedding. Never pay your vendors in full upon booking them. Down payment 190 days out, and then final payment.
Yes, our advice here on the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast is do a down payment and then split it up into thirds. I think that's the same way you run your company as well, Sal. It is a big red flag when you have a wedding vendor asking for all the money up front and then they're going to give you some sort of discount because you do that. Just turn away, hang up the phone, do whatever you need to do, because there is absolutely no guarantee, no matter how reputable the company is, that they will be there on the day of your wedding to do that. So that's why we recommend those 30 days, 14 days, 7 days are the best times to do the final payments.
Yeah, and consider what kind of vendor you have too. Sometimes a final payment shouldn't happen prior to the wedding because you're not going to see product until after the wedding. So maybe should be something that's held back until you get that final product.
Yes, so just be aware of your down payments and payment schedule, and that's one reason why we suggest that you read your contract. That's another tip from Sal and Sam.
Wedding Tip Wednesday is available on the Stress Free Wedding Planning Facebook group page every Wednesday. Join the group for free.
Don't know what to do for your first dance? Is your future spouse having trouble picking a song to dance with their parent? Worry no more, I have the answer. Go to afterhoursevents.com/contact guest. That is CONTACTGUEST. And you'll be able to listen to hours of music to help you select the right songs for your upcoming wedding. Again, go to afterhoursevents.com/contact guest.
Are you ready to take your wedding business to the next level? Do you feel your marketing plan needs help? Then say I do to theclearvisionagency.com for improved online visibility and more bookings. Make your wedding business sparkle and get ready to see real results. The Clear Vision Agency can create a picture-perfect online presence for your wedding business with our SEO, social media management, content, and digital advertising programs. Theclearvisionagency.com. Call us today to claim your free digital audit and let's see how your business stacks up against the competition. Go to theclearvisionagency.com.
Do you want access to a stress-free wedding planning process? Then go to our website, allthews.atmosphere-productions.com, and get my free report. 8 questions you must ask a wedding professional before booking them. Get it today. That's allthews.atmosphere-productions.com. Look for the free report and learn to shop like a pro from a pro and go from concern and worry to stress-free wedding planning.
And now back to the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sal from After Hours Events of New England, the leader in making your wedding stress-free.
I'm Sam from Atmosphere Productions Disc Jockey Service, weddings with expert knowledge and the difference in quality.
We've just explained 13 important questions you should ask your DJ before hiring them. Save yourself the headache. Don't hire a cheap DJ. Here are some reasons why you should never hire a cheap DJ for your wedding. Cheap DJs' level of customer service is usually pretty low, meaning they're not always around when you need them. You might be calling them, leaving messages, emailing them, texting them, and they're not getting back to you very quickly. That's not good customer service. You need answers, and you should be able to get them pretty quickly. Cheap DJs will not be able to accommodate all your requests. Well, the problem is they usually don't invest much in their music, so they may not be able to cover what you really need. And let me tell you, there's things that you request that you may need remixed. You want to do a first dance, you want a shortened version, and you need it changed up a little. A professional could easily do that for you, where a cheap DJ may not be able to. A bad DJ will play the wrong song. Oh my goodness. This is something that happens so often, Sam. It's just absolutely unbelievable. So playing the wrong song for your special moment. They're just not organized. They're not prepared. They're not really going by a plan that was preset with you because they never made that plan because they don't even know to make that plan because this is not what they really do. A bad DJ will play songs that no one wants to hear. Oh my goodness, how many times I've walked to another room, Sam? How about you?
Cheap or bad DJs are going to do. They don't know how to read a crowd. They don't know how to do a song sequencing. They don't know how to follow up one song after another to make the floor hop. It really is bad when you see a room with everybody sitting down and the DJ's playing some piece of music that you're like, wow, I would never play this at a wedding.
It amazes me. Absolutely amazes me. Another is, and this is a really bad thing, a bad DJ won't be able to communicate announcements clearly. This is a big complaint that I've heard from couples about how we didn't know when something was really happening because the way the DJ did announcements wasn't really clear, or they didn't prepare the other vendors for this sequence. So if you're having a cake cutting, if you're having a parent dance, shouldn't the photographer know? Shouldn't dad be ready for that? The bride be ready? The facility knows what's going on. So this is a nice, smooth ride. Some of these guys just go right into things and people do not know what's going on. Another cheap DJs will not be able to deal with any unexpected events that may happen during the event. Some kind of take the sequence a little too seriously.
Yeah, they do.
And not realize, I have to go with the flow. I've had times where the plan is we're going to have the father-daughter dance and the mother-son dance after the cake cutting at the end of dinner. But dinner's running late and we need to do something to kind of make the guests not realize that there's a problem. So, hey, you know what? Let's put those parent dances in earlier so something is happening in front of all of them. And by the time that's done, hopefully dinner is coming out. Those other DJs may just sit there and just play with their thumbs and not do anything. So you have to be able to jump into action. Another thing a bad DJ will do is not be ready for last minute timeline changes. And that's kind of like what I was talking about, with having to move something because you need to make things better. Cheap DJs are often inexperienced. There's no truer point, Sam.
Yep.
Inexperienced DJs usually try to charge really little so they could get the job. And do you really want to leave that big job to someone who's not experienced?
Everybody's got to start from somewhere. So at one point, we were all inexperienced DJs. So that's not saying nothing wrong about getting an experienced DJ. The key is that you know it and that you understand that if something goes wrong, it's on you.
Oh, definitely.
The fact is that many inexperienced or cheap DJs are not telling the client that they are inexperienced or have only done just a few weddings. And the client is under the impression that these people know exactly what they're doing.
Oh, it's amazing. But the problem is some of these DJs are not even honest with themselves. I've had DJs who say to me, oh, I do so many weddings. I go, really? So how many weddings do you do? Oh, it's like 2 a month. Well, that's not a lot of weddings. And that's not going to keep you sharp. So, most of us are doing at least 2 a weekend, so if not more. So that's not really experienced. That only averages out to 24 weddings a year. And, winter's not that good as it is during the other months. So you're probably doing less. Sometimes they need to be honest with themselves that they're not really doing a lot. Also, a bad DJ will not understand what kind of music is appropriate for a different segment of your wedding.
And that means that there are different portions of the wedding. You may need to do some love songs, for instance, and slow the tempo down because everybody's been dancing for the last hour. Maybe you need to play some oldies for the older guests. Maybe you need to play some more modern music for the younger guests. That is what we're talking about, segmenting the music so that everybody gets up and dance. Really called rotating the dance floor so that everybody gets a chance to get up and dance. Most inexperienced DJs are not going to know about this, and they will just, do half an hour of love songs or 2 hours of dance music, and that's why you have nobody dancing because they're too tired.
You have to know how to read a crowd. You have to understand body language, looking at facial reactions to certain things. And an inexperienced person is just not going to be able to do that. Cheap DJs often lack the necessary equipment to provide the best sound quality or lighting for your event. I'm going to take this a little further. When it comes to the sound equipment, a lot of times your cocktail hour is in a separate room, and these cheap DJs have no clue what to do there. They have their sound system. How do I get sound into another room? And, an experienced guy does this all the time. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So we have multiple ways of doing that, and we understand what to do. And because we know these facilities, we're already prepared that we're going to be doing this at this particular wedding. So very important. Lighting. Sometimes people don't understand lighting and how many lights they need. I've had people say, This wedding I went to, the guy brought up lighting, but he only brought 4 lights. What's that going to do for a room? And it was corded on top of that. So you have to understand not only how a wedding works and what you need sound wise, but you need to know the size of the room, what's proper lighting, where's the proper places to put it. There's just so much knowledge you need to know. And, as Sam said, we all start from somewhere. Hey, I remember when I first started, I started with Radio Shack equipment back in the day. So we all had our cheap ways, but we moved along. And the problem I'm finding with a lot of cheap DJs, they're not moving the bar up. They're staying at that same level all the time and just trying to charge that cheap rate because it's just side money for them. And what happens, you end up getting hurt in the long run. And finally, you may have to pay for their mistakes. A cheap DJ make mistake that requires you to dish out some cash. And this is how this can happen. So, for instance, if your wedding is 5 hours long and everyone leaves after the 4th hour, you've just lost an hour, which can be thousands of dollars compared to, what you paid for the facility, which you actually paid for the DJ, your photographer. So it all kind of adds up. So by getting someone who's not experienced and could keep the flow of things going, you could actually lose a lot of money. So Sam, how do you save yourself the headache and don't hire a cheap DJ?
Well, Sal, the first thing to keep in mind when looking at cheap DJs is that not all DJs are the same. For instance, you have a radio DJ, you have a club DJ, karaoke DJ, and you have wedding DJs. So you really wouldn't ask a nightclub DJ to do a wedding. It would be like having a plumber do your electrical work. Even though they're called the same, they are very, very different. Most club DJs don't speak on the microphone, for instance, whereas that's what you need with a wedding DJ. Although it may seem like a good deal that you've got from a DJ who has said to you, oh, I'll give you free lighting. I'll give you extra speakers. I'll give you, 7 hours of music. Why are they giving you that for nothing? Because all of that costs money. You need to make sure that you're not sacrificing quality for price. And all of these free things are not really free, are they? Everything will cost you something. Nothing in this world is free.
That is just the truth. You see it all the time where it just costs a couple money. And at the end, they're like, why didn't I hire the right DJ? I just took it because this guy threw everything at me, including the kitchen sink. There's a reason why they do it to cover up what their inexperience is.
And I'll give you an example of how a professional DJ can make the difference. There are many facilities that require the ceremony in one location, the cocktail hour in another location, and the dinner and dancing in a third location. Those cheap and free DJs are going to tell you, we can take care of all of that for one price. And what they're going to do is they're going to set up their sound system for the ceremony. Then they're going to break down that ceremony system and set it up for the cocktail hour. And then when the cocktail hour is finished, they're going to break that system down and reset it up for the reception. But you don't know that because you don't know the facility and the DJ's not telling you that it's supposed to be done like this. There should be one sound system for the ceremony with a microphone, either wireless or wired, and speakers. For the cocktail hour, there should be a different system, not the same one at the ceremony location, but a new, different system at the cocktail hour that is going to play cocktail hour music. And then the final main system should be in the main ballroom where there's going to be introductions, dinner, and dancing. And there is a price associated with that because each system will cost a different amount of money. And that's why hiring a professional DJ is so much better than just hiring a cheap DJ.
This is something that comes up with every meeting I have because many of the facilities I work with is multiple locations. And when I tell them that there's going to be a system for every single area, they're actually kind of blown away by that. And now that just became a question they're going to use when they talk to other DJs. And then they find out, wait a minute, they don't do it the same way he does it. Maybe we need to go with the right guy to start with.
So correct, Sal. The point you just made there is absolutely correct. And we want to make sure that every couple understands that what you don't know is what you don't know. But until you're told and explained that by a professional, then you understand how different a professional is compared to just a cheap DJ. And that's why DJ quotes are so meaningful. When I give a quote to a client, I break down the different charges that are needed. So if there's a ceremony system, it costs this. If there's a cocktail hour system, it costs this. And the main system is also broken down. That way, the client knows exactly what they're paying for. Most cheap or inexperienced DJs are not going to do that. The average cost of a wedding DJ recently is anywhere from $1,500 to $6,000. That's a huge range. And I guarantee you, a $1,500 DJ is not doing the same as a $6,000 DJ.
You'd hope not, huh? But yeah, no, this is so true. This is just so true. There's a reason typically because of the price difference, and you need to dig in deep on what that is. And you may appreciate that higher price because it might give you exactly what you're looking for, and it gives you peace of mind. And it's all about being stress-free. So you don't want to be stressing about things. So get the right DJ, and you'll feel so much more relaxed.
Yeah. The more popular DJs are going to be booked out months in advance, just like you and I. Most clients are probably not aware, but you and I book about a year in advance. And that's because our services are in demand. And there's a reason why we do that, because we have not only the reviews and the experience, but people know that if they hire Sal or they hire DJ Sam, they know what they're going to get. But if you hire a cheap or inexperienced DJ, you're not sure what you're going to get. DJ prices are quoted typically either an hourly rate or by a package. The more time a DJ requires, the higher the price will be. The more equipment needed, the higher the price will be. The more preparation with the couple, the higher the price will be. So there's no way of getting around it. If you as the client want all these different things, ceremony sound system, cocktail hour sound system, lighting, photo booth, musicians. If you need extra time, this will cost you. There is no way that somebody can do it cheaply and do it effectively.
You know, two weddings are not alike. There's so many different factors. There's facilities, as Sam said, you could have a ceremony could be in one place of the facility, cocktail in another. Then you have the main room for everything else. Some facilities are everything's in one room, so things are gonna be handled in a different style, in a different fashion, and your DJ needs to be able to handle that type of thing. And we're finding more and more that it's multiple rooms for everything. So DJs need to be prepared for that. And a cheap DJ typically is not, because their inexperience doesn't have them with the knowledge of how that facility may work.
So save yourself the headache. Don't hire a cheap DJ, because good DJs aren't cheap and cheap DJs aren't good.
You're listening to the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
So there you have it. We just explained to you why you should never hire a cheap DJ. You also learned what questions to ask your DJ entertainer and how to steer clear of cheap, bad, and inexperienced DJs.
Now, as you spend the next week planning your wedding, if you want me, Sal, or our community of stress-free engaged couples and wedding experts to answer any wedding-related questions, then join us over in the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Facebook group. Once you're in, go ahead and share your concerns and worries. We'll let you know if you're on the right track or if there's something you should be working on. The link to join us is in the show notes of this edition, or go to Facebook and search for the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Community. Thank you for listening to this edition. If you've enjoyed what you've just heard, leave a review and share with a friend or someone who would benefit from this information. Until next time, it's TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Remember, a new edition is released every Wednesday, so go to your favorite place to get podcasts and hit subscribe so you get the first alert when it is released. Ciao!
The Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast is produced and copyrighted by Atmosphere Productions in association with After Hours Events of New England.
Sponsored in part by Clear Vision Productions and the Wedding Styles of Connecticut Wedding Show Series.